In this video, I'm going to show you how to do some basic arithmetic using R. So how do you do some basic arithmetic? Well, if I'm down on the console, I can type in, say 6 plus 2 if I want to do some addition. I just hit the return key, it does my addition for me. If I want to do some subtraction, I use the minus sign. Easy enough. Just note here that I have those spaces around the plus sign and the minus sign. They're not necessary. That's just to make things easier to see. Now, so we've got addition and subtraction. Now how do you do multiplication? You don't use a time sign, you don't use an X, you don't use a dot. You're going to use an asterisk. So if I want to do 7 times 6, which should give me 42, I'd do something like that. Now you should know that if you've been in any kind of math class before in your life, sometimes you'll indicate multiplication by using some parentheses around things like this. That will just give you an error. So you need to use the asterisk if you want to do multiplication. Now as far as division goes, you just use the backslash. So you get 4.5. And then we got 2 more operations for you. Now if you want to deal with exponents in R, you have to use the caret. And then depending on what your exponent is, if it's something kind of complicated, like 2/3, you want to use parentheses around it. In fact, you use parentheses around a lot of things in here. But just go ahead and hit return on that, and it'll come back with 4. So if you want to raise something to a power, you use the caret. If you're just using an integer, you don't need the parentheses. If you're using something more complicated for your power, you're going to need the parentheses on it. If you want the absolute value of something, you can use this absolute value command. It starts out something like this. You need both parentheses, and you can't have any spaces between the ABS and that parenthesis, and then type the number you want the absolute value of inside there. In this case, the absolute value of -3 is 3. And now the last 2 operations we'll have are basically coming from doing division. When you divide, you're going to have a quotient and you're going to have a remainder. The first operation we have here, this one that's got 2% signs, is how you get a remainder from something. So if I'm looking at 7 divided by 3 and I want to know what the remainder is, in my mind I know that should be 1, and in fact that's what this gives me back. So 2% signs in the middle gives me a remainder. If I throw something very similar in there, if you look really quick you don't even notice it, but it's the 2% signs with a slash in the middle, and then I throw 3 on there, that's going to give me the quotient. So 7 divided by 3 is going to be 2 with a remainder of 1. And that's some basic arithmetic in R.